Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So, connecting with the previous lecture, today I'm just going to start some discrete probability distributions. So, in the last lecture, I have already discussed what is discrete probability distribution and what is continuous probability distribution. So, just to remind you, discrete is a phenomenon in which we take whole values. For example, if you counting number of students in a class, if you counting the number of light bulbs in the class, if you counting the number of fan in a specific room, so all these example are discrete probability distribution, while continuous distribution requires some specific interval of times. For example, the how much rain it was from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, because it will be in the millimeter. For example, some specific student height in some specific time. So all these examples are continuous distribution example. So in today's lecture, I'm just going to start some discrete probability distribution. We will discuss those discrete probability distribution in different decision models, in different production management tools, in the Keying theory, in the probability approaches, in decision making, in risk management, in procurement management, in hiring, etc., etc. So once again, discrete probability distribution is a type of distribution which gives the probability of every possible values of a discrete random variable. So first of all, you need to know the meaning of a discrete and continuous. Continuous will be taking values in a continuous phenomenon. It will be mean a curve, just like mean hyperbolic, parabolic, all these are continuous phenomenon. But discrete, just like you going on stairs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So a discrete probability distribution gives the probability of every possible value of a discrete random variable. We will introduce here some important discrete probability distribution which are often used in statistical theory and analysis. So these distributions are not only the part of this course, but definitely you will be able to use these discrete probability distribution in different courses. Maybe you will also be able to use these in your final year project. Maybe you will in the future, maybe you will conducting a specific project, so you will be able to use these discrete probability distribution. So before going to that, you need to understand the basic concept of discrete and continuous. For example, if you want to check the number of cars, how many cars passing from a specific toll plaza on motorway, how many airplanes came in a specific airport, how many ships come in a specific port. So all these are discrete phenomena. How many accidents daily happen? How many railway accidents happen in a specific year time period? So all these are discrete phenomena. Now, in order to further define and further throw light on these probability distribution, so in this chapter, I am just going to introduce you some important discrete probability distribution, which you will be able to use in the coming times, in the coming semester, in the coming projects. So the most important discrete probability distribution is the binomial probability distribution or binomial experiment. So you can see from the name binomial, bi mean two. So in binomial, we have only two possible outcomes. For example, if you throw a coin, then the possible outcome will be head or tail. For example, if a child born in a family, it will be a boy or it will be a girl. For example, if we want to discuss an experiment and the number of treatments, so how many are alive and how many are dead. So alive or dead are two possible outcomes. So many experiments consist of repeated independent trial. Each trial having only two possible outcomes. So these experiments will be independent. These will not be dependent. The occurrences of each outcome will not be depending on the other one. So that is why the repeated and dependent trial, each trial has only two possible outcomes. For example, the two possible outcome of trial may be head and tail. When you throw a coin, it will be head and tail. Success and failure, you will be successful or you will be failure. For example, if you throw a die, if you get a 6, you will be the winner. Or if you not get the 6, you will be a loser. So probability of 6 is 1 by 6. And 1 minus 1 by 6 will be the probability of failure. Right and wrong, sometimes we are doing, sometimes we are deciding that it is right or wrong. So we have two possible outcomes, alive or dead, good and defective, good or bad, infected and not infected, and so forth. If the probability of each outcome remains same throughout the trial, then such trials are called binomial. Why? Because each trial possible probability will be same. For example, if you throw a coin, so the probability if we throw a coin, the probability it will be a head or a tail. So the probability of a head will be 1 by 2 and the probability of a tail will be 1 by 2 because our sample space is head or tail. So when we throw a coin, it will be definitely a head or it will be a tail. So that is why the probability of each success, for example, if head is considered as a success, then the probability, if we throw it again and again, the probability will not be changed. So that is why if the probability of each outcome remains same, so we are not taking only success, but we are also taking trial or failure. So if the probability of each outcome remains same throughout the trial, then such trial are called binomial. So you need to understand the meaning, the name binomial. We have only two outcomes in binomial. Binomial experiment is widely used in decision making. Many experiments consist of repeated independent trial. So most important thing you need to understand that the trial in the distribution will be independent. It will not be dependent. I will discuss that dependent and independent in another probability distribution. So you need to identify binomial with this independent trial. The trial will be independent. Each trial has only two possible outcomes. It will be a success or it will be failure. It will be good or it will be bad. It will be alive or it will be dead. It will be wrong or it will be correct. It will be pass or it will be fail. So these are examples. For example, the two possible outcomes of trial may be head and tail, success and failure, right and wrong. All these are examples of binomial. If the probability of each count will be same throughout the trial, then such trials are called binomial. So the trial will not be changed. Even if something happens, then the trial probability of success and failure will be always same. In binomial distribution function, there are four specific properties or postulates you need to remember. An experiment is called binomial probability experiment if it possesses the following four properties. Number of trials is fixed. So it will not be an unlimited, infinite number of trials. It will be fixed. For example, throwing a coin 10 times, throwing a die 10 times. Each trial have only two possible outcomes. So as I already mentioned in the previous slide, that is why it is called binomial, because we have two. Bi mean two. Binomial, we have only two possible outcomes. It will be a success or it will be a failure. It will be a good or it will be a bad. It will be effective or it will be defective. The third one is the successive trial are all independent. So once again, if I throw a coin, for example, so head is not depending on tail and tail is not depending on head. So that is why the successive trials are all independent. If something is depending, then that will never ever be a binomial distribution. You need to remember this. Probability of success, we will normally denote with the sign P, and normally the probability of failure we denote with Q sign. So you need to remember P as probability of success will be P and probability of Q will be, normally we denote this with the sign Q, which remains same throughout the whole procedure. So probability of success is PS and it will be remain same. So 1 minus P will be equal to Q, which is probability of failure. Okay. Binomial random variable, when X denote the number of success in n trial of binomial probability experiment, is called a binomial random variable. So we have already discussed random variable. We have recently finished random variable chapter. So I hope that you understand the meaning of random variable. Let X is denote the number of success. For example, when you throw a coin, so X represent the number of heads. So X will be equal to 0 or it will be equal to 1. 0 mean that the case when you get a tail. 1 mean when you get a head. So when X denote the number of success in a trial, if a binomial distribution experiment is called a binomial random variable and its probability distribution content is called binomial probability distribution. So normally we will denote it. This is random variable. These are the number because the number of trial will be fixed. So how many trial? 5, 3, 4, how much? So you need to write that, and you also need to calculate the probability of success. So when you calculate the probability of success, you will deduct because 1 is the total probability. So 1 minus probability of success is equal to probability of failure. So throwing a coin, what will be the probability of head? If head is the success, so 1 minus 1 over 2. So the Q probability will be 1 over 2. And through all these fixed trials, these probability will never ever change. This is the probability distribution function, and X, and basically if you write this At this place, this is C combination. This is combination C X, which is P is the probability of success power X, this X, okay, and Q, which is the probability of failure, N minus X, okay, and X will be any random variable 0, 1, 2, 3, depend on the experiment. So now I am just going to use these four properties, how we will solve some specific numerics, how we will solve some specific experimental model while using this probability distribution function. So you need to remember this probability distribution function. Decide whether the experiment is a binomial experiment if it is specify the values of N, P and Q and list the possible values of the random variable X. If it is not a binomial experiment, explain why. So basically I just mentioned this example that further elaborate the meaning of binomial distribution. You need to understand what is the difference between binomial, negative binomial, hypergeometric, Poisson distribution, which we will explain shortly. So you randomly select a card from a deck of cards and note if the card is an S. You then put the card back and repeat this process 8 times. So yes, this is a binomial experiment because there are 52 cards in playing cards. There are 52 cards. Among those, 4 are Ace and the other 48 are the other cards, which include King, which include Queen, which include all other 1, 2, 3 to 9. So you then put the card back, but the trial in this experiment, you will randomly select a card, you will have a look. If it is an Ace, then let's suppose Ace is the winner. If it is an Ace, then you are the winner. If it is not, you will put it back and you will repeat this for 8 times. So yes, this is a binomial experiment. Why? Because there are only 2 possible outcomes. Maybe it will be an Ace or it will be some other card. It will be a Queen, it will be a King, it will be 1, it will be 2, it will be some other card. So yes, if we get an Ace, it means they already designed the experiment that there are only 2 possible outcomes, an Ace or some other card. And they are also mentioning that you need to repeat this process 8 times. So mean we already studied in the properties of binomial distribution that the number of trials will be fixed and all the experiment trials will be independent. So this is a binomial experiment. Each of the 8 selection represent an independent trial because the card is replaced before the next one is drawn. So when you throw a card, when you take a card, if you check if it is an Ace, then it's okay. You will repeat it again and you will put it back. So if I not put it back, then before we have 52 cards. If I not put it back, then the remaining cards are 51. So before the probability of taking one card is 1 by 52. If I not put it back, then in that case, the card probability will be 1 by 51. So in that case, that will not be a independent trial. In that case, it will be a dependent trial. Each of the 8 selection represent an independent trial because the card is replaced before the next one is drawn. There are only 2 possible outcomes. Either the card is an Ace or not. N is 8 because we have fixed trials 8 times. Probability of success. So as I already mentioned, that there are only 4. If I write it as we have 4, others 48, and total we have 52. Okay. So if you pick one, so how we will calculate the probability of success, which is Ace? So it will be 4C1. So 4C1 divided by 52C1. Okay. So that is why we can write the probability of success is equal to 4 by 52, which is equal to 1 by 13. And the probability of failure, maybe it will not be an Ace, then it will be some other card. And the probability of that is 1 minus 1 over 13. 1 minus the success probability, so it will be 12 by 13. And X is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can easily calculate the probabilities for all these random variables. For example, probability at 0, it will be probability X is equal to 0, it will be, because N is 8, so 8C is 0. Probability of success is 1 over 13, 0, and 12, Q is 12 by 13, 8 minus 0. So at this way you can easily calculate the probability of X is equal to 0. You can also calculate X is equal to 1. You need to put 1, it will be 1, and 8 minus 1 will be 7. So you can easily calculate all these random variable probabilities. Okay, there is another problem. Binomial probability distribution, you roll a die 10 times. Now you are rolling a die 10 times and note that the number die lands on. So this is not a binomial distribution. Why? Because if they give us that the success, let's suppose success, if you get a 6, then it will be a success. Then probability of success is equal to 1 by 6. And probability which is P and Q will be 1 minus P. 1 minus 6. 1 minus 1 over 6, which will be 5 by 6. But this is not a binomial. Why? Because if I say that the probability of success will be 6, so 6 is my success and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are not success. So there are only two possible counts. You will get 6 or you will not get 6. But in this question, the scenario is totally different. You roll a die 10 times and note that the number the die lands on. Now we not know the number on the die lands on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now this is not a binomial experiment. While each trial roll is independent, there are more than two possible outcomes. Maybe it will be a 1, maybe it will be a 2, it will be a 3, 4, 5 and 6. So this is not a binomial. But in this example, this is a binomial trial. So you need to understand, if in exam, if I give you such like question, you not need to be confused. You not need to be confused how to differentiate binomial from other distribution. In binomial, you need to remember these four properties. Number of trial will be fixed, trial probability will be independent. Okay, so these, if you remember these two, the rest is very easy. Okay, there is another question. Large lot of certain product checked for defective by means of sampling schemes. Only 8 items are to be examined. The lot will be rejected if 2 or more defective are observed. If a lot contains 10% of defective, then what is the probability that the lot will be accepted or rejected? So these are two questions now. The most important thing, you need to extract the data from the question. How many 8 items you have? So n is equal to 8. And they are stressing on the lot will be rejected if 2 or more defective are observed. If a lot contains defective, so now they are already giving you some probabilities. And this is the probability, the defective, which you will use as a success. So the 10% probability is 0.10. So what will be the effective probability? In this question, Q is equal to 1 minus P. So 1 minus 0.10, it will be 0.90. Now they are asking you, what is the probability that a lot will be accepted? So lot will subtract check defective, the lot will be rejected if 2 or more defective are observed. So when will the lot be accepted? If 2 are more than found to be defective. So lot will be accepted if there are 0 or 1 element are defective, because lot will be rejected if 2 or more defective. So lot will be accepted if 1 or 0 are defective. So for 0, how you will calculate? Because the probability distribution function for binomial distribution is nx, p power x, q, n minus x. So probability of 0 at 0, this is my p, which is the defective probability, and this is my 1 minus p, which is the effective probability. So this will be 0 and n minus x, 8 minus 0, 8. So when you simplify it, plus 1 at 1, 0.10 power 1, 0.90 power 7. When you simplify it, this will be the lot will be accepted. So you can easily calculate the lot will be rejected. Lot will be rejected 1 minus probability of accepted. So 1 minus probability of accepted, you can easily calculate. Or you can also calculate this by this way. Lot is rejected. So when the lot will be rejected? Probability of 2 plus probability of 3 plus probability of 4 plus probability of 5 plus probability of 6 plus probability of 7 plus probability of 8. So this, in order to calculate all these, it's a little bit complex. If you know the concept of probability of success is equal to 1 minus probability of failure. So you can easily, while using this concept, just like I use this in this example, you can easily calculate the probability of rejection. So I hope that you understand it. I'm just going to solve some more example. For example, in this example, a die roll 5 times. So how many times? N will be 5. And a 5 or 6 is considered a success? 5, because when you throw a die, there are 6 number will be appear. So this will be the sample space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they already define that success will be 5 or 6. So probability of success, what will be the probability of 5? And you also know the combination rule, you also know the union rule, OR rule and AND rule, which we have already studied in the starting chapter of probabilities. So 5 probability is 1 by 6, because there is a chance that you will get a 5, it is 1 by 6, and there is a chance that you will get a 6, 1 by 6. So 1 by 6 plus 1 by 6 will be 2 by 6. So probability of success will be 1 by 3, 2 into 3. So it will be 1 by 3, and Q is equal to 1 minus 1 by 3, because if you have the success probability, you can easily calculate failure probability. So 1 minus 1 over 3, it will be 2 by 3. Now they are asking you know success. So it is very easy. Probability of x is equal to 0. You will not get any success. X is equal to 0. So you already know n is equal to 5, because you rolling die 5 times. So you need to write the general probability definition that nx px q n minus x. So probability of x is equal to 0, no success. So 5, because they are rolling 5 times you rolling a die. So 5, x is equal to 0, no success 0. 1 over 3 is the probability which we derived from 5 or 6, and q is the 2 by 3, which is the failure probability. So in putting this formula, 1 over 3 power 0, 2 over 3 power 5 minus 0. So 5, when you simplify it, you will get 0.13. Okay, the second one is at least 2 success. So at least 2 success mean 2 are greater than 2 success. So 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, because 5 times you rolling the die. So maybe you will get success on 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can easily calculate this, putting the values in this formula. You can easily, you can also use this, that I am just writing at this place, probability of 0 plus probability of 1 minus probability of 0 plus probability of 1. So the answer, this and this answer will be same. So you can use both approaches. So this one will be simple, because in this one you need to calculate all these random variable probabilities 2, 3, 4. So it will be easy if you calculate probability of 0 and if you calculate probability of 1, and we know that our probability is equal to 1. 1 minus these possible chances, you will get the same answer. The third question, at least 1 but not more than 3 success. So at least, how we will mathematically write this? At least 1, at least mean 1 or more than 1. So this is x is greater than 1 or more than 1, but not more than 3 success. Not more than 3 success, and less than or equal to 3. So those items, those random variable which lie between, which are in this interval 1 plus 2 plus 3. So 1, we have already calculated 1. If you put 5, 1, p power 1, q 5 minus 1, 4, plus probability of 2, which we have already calculated, and probability of 3. So it will be 0.8225. Okay. Solving some more example. This is very good example. I hope that you will understand some more concept of binomial distribution while studying, while exploring this example. The probability that a patient recover from a certain disease is 0.75. Suppose 6 people are known to have contracted the disease, assuming independence. Now they already mentioned, is this a binomial distribution? Because there is no sign, they not mention the word binomial. But if you read the question, you can easily extract the data from it and you can easily understand the meaning of binomial distribution. The probability that a patient will recover from a certain disease is 0.75. So what will be the probability that the patient will not be recovering? So if this is the recovery 0.75, 1 minus 0.75 will be the probability that the patient will not recover. So probability of recovery is 0.75. Not recover, 1 minus probability of recover. So 1 minus 0.75 will be 0.25. Suppose there are 6 people, so number of trial fixed, And they already mentioned that the trial are independent. So yes, this is a binomial distribution. The patient will be recovered or the patient will be died. He will not be recovered. Now, if you extract these data set, it is very easy, because suppose 6, n is equal to 6. Now they are asking different questions. So first of all, you need to construct this probabilities, because the probability a patient will recover. So recover is equal to 75 by 100, which is 0.75. Not recover 0.25. Number of success. So there are 6 patients. 6 patients mean 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 0 will be no patient will be recovered. 1 will be recovered, 2 will be recovered, 3 will be recovered, 4 will be recovered, and 5 and 6 will be recovered. So how we will calculate these? You know, because this is a binomial distribution, number of trial are fixed, number of trial are independent, and we already calculate the probability of success, and we have already the probability of failure. So yes, this is a binomial phenomenon. So 6 x is 0, 3 by 4, 3 by 4 is this. We can also write 0.75 is equal to 3 by 4. So if I write this is equal to, this is 0.75, this is 3 by 4, and this is equal to 1 by 4. So you not need to be confused with 3 by 4 and 1 by 4. So 1 by 4 power 6, which is equal to 1 divided by 4096. So when we calculate, when we construct this binomial distribution, we can easily calculate the rest of the question. At most 3 patients will recover. So at most mean 3 or less than 3 recover. At most mean 3 or less than 3. So 3, 2, 1, 0. But we will count all these. We will use the OR rule. 3, because this is x is less than or equal to 3. So 3 or less than 3. 3 recover, 2 recover, 1 recover, or no one recover, 0 recover. So probability of 0 plus probability of 1 plus probability of 2 plus probability of 3. And we have already calculated these probabilities. 1 divided by 4096 plus, when 1 recover, 1 probability is 18 by 4096. If 2 recover, then the probability of 2 recovering is 135 divided by 4096. If 3 recover, then the probability is 540 divided by 4096. So the total probability that at most 3 patients will recover will be 0.169. Exactly 4 patients will recover. The second question is exactly 4 patients will recover. So we can easily calculate x is equal to 4. Exactly 4 recover. So 6, 4, 3 by 4, power 4, 1 over 4. So because 6 is n, 6 minus x, 6 minus 4, 2. So 1, 2, 1, 5 divided by 4096. So okay, going to the other questions. Now at least 5 patients will recover. How you will solve? At least 5 patients. So at least mean 5 or 6 recovered. So we have already calculated 5 probability and 6 probability. So 5 or 6 recovered. So 1, 4, 5, 8 plus 7, 2, 9 divided by 4096. So at this way you will calculate at least 5 will recover. Or you can use the other rule. 1 minus probability of 0, probability of 1, probability of 2 plus probability of 3 plus probability of 4. So you can get the same answer. The fourth question is at least 1 will recover. So at least 1 will recover. It's mean 1 will recover or no one will be recovered. So at least 1 will recover, sorry, or 2 recover, 3 recover, 4 recover, 5 recover, 6 recover. So we can easily calculate while using the main concept of probability. 1 minus probability of 0. Probability of 0 means no one will recover. So if 1 minus no one will recover, when you subtract this, you will get the probability that at least 1 will recover. 1 will recover means probability of 0 plus probability of 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. When you add all these things, you will get the answer. The fifth question is, fewer than half of the patient will recover. So fewer than half of the patient will recover. So half of 6 is 0, 1 and 2. 3 will not be, because fewer than half of the patient. So if they only use the half of the patient, then yes, we will also add plus 3. So 0, 1, 2, at this way, 0, 1, 2, 3, we will add all these probabilities, so we will get the answer. Approaching to the other question, from the same data, extracted data, none will recover. So if no one will recover, the probability of that among the 6 people, no one will recover. So from the existing data, this will be the probability, and we have already calculated this. All will recover. So probability all success, all will recover. X is equal to 6. So 6 by 6, 3 by 4, 6, 1 over 4, so 7, 2, 9 will be the answer. Find the probability 7 by 2, x is equal to minus 4, x is equal to 8. So first of all, this is not discrete. Binomial is a discrete, this is impossible. Okay, x is equal to binomial discrete probability distribution, the value will not be negative. Probability will never ever be negative. So x is equal to minus 4, it's impossible, that we will not be able to calculate. X is equal to 8, which is possible, but we have only 6 people. So how we will calculate? 8 is not existing. 7 is also not existing. So it will also be impossible for us. The ninth question is 2 will die. So how you will calculate? If 2 will die, because the given information is the recovery is 0.7. If 2 will die, then how many will survive? If 2 patients are died, then how many? So if you calculate the probability of 4 survive people, so alive people, then automatically this is also the probability that 2 will die and 4 are alive, because you have 6 people, 6 patients. So if 2 die, then 4 are surviving. So x is equal to, because these are variable which show us that 6 people will be recovered. So if 4 are recovered, what is the probability of 4? 1215 4096. So this is also the probability of that 2 will die. When 2 die, then 4 will be survived. So this is a little bit tricky question. You need to understand the concept. 2 will die mean 4 will survive. So 4 will survive. So we have already constructed a probability distribution function. So this is 1215. More than 2 will die. Okay, so this is also a tricky question. More than 2 will die. So more than 2 will die. So 0, 1, 2 plus 3. If more than 2 will die, so how many will be dying? 2 will be dying, 3 will be dying, 4 will be dying, 5 will be dying, 6 will be dying. So how many will be surviving? Okay, if 2 more than 2 die, so 0 will be alive, 1 will be alive, 2 will be alive, and 3 will be alive. So more than 2 will be died. So probability of 0 plus probability of 1 plus probability of 2 plus probability of 3, 694 divided by 4096. So in this way, you will handle binomial probability distribution. Every probability distribution have mean, variance and standard deviation formulas. So for binomial distribution function, you need to remember, when you multiply, for example, if I throw a coin or if I throw a die, so the sample space will be, if I throw a die, sample space will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. If a person get a 6, probability of getting a 6 will be 1 by 6, and this will be the success. If I get a 6, I will be the winner, otherwise I will be the loser. So 1 minus P, 1 minus 1 over 6 will be 5 by 6. So now if I want to calculate the mean of this experiment, so this n into P, now I am throwing a die, let's suppose 5 times. So n is equal to 5, and the probability of success, for example, I am throwing a die 5 times. If I get a 6, I will be the winner. Now this is the probability. Now I will not be able, maybe I will get 6 on the first try. Maybe when I throw for the second time, maybe I will get a success. Maybe I will fail on the first 2 trial. Maybe I will be successful on the third time. Maybe I will be successful on 5. Maybe on 4. So in this case, the mean will be 5 into the probability of success is 6. So it will be 6. Similarly, if you want to calculate variance, which we denote with sigma square, n into P into Q. So 5, because we are throwing 5 times a coin, 1 over 6 into 5 by 6. So this will be the variance. When you take the square root of this, you will get the standard deviation. Okay, so these are the formulation you need to understand. Here is another example, randomly guessing on a 100 question multiple choice test. For example, for a specific question, there are 100. Normally we have 4 choices, but let's suppose we have 100 choices where each question has 4 possible answers. So sorry, randomly guessing on 100 questions multiple choice test where each question we have n is equal to 100 question, we have 100 question, and for each question we have 4 choices. So how you will calculate? N is equal to 100, n will be equal to 100, and probability of success among those 4 choices, one will be successful, one will be the right answer. So probability of success will be 1 over 4, and Q will be 1 minus 1 over 4. So Q will be 3 by 4. So how we will calculate? This is n, which is 100 times 100 question we have, and in each question there are 4 choices. So 100 multiplied by 1 over 4, 25. Similarly, this is n. The formula is n into p into q. This is n into p. So this will be the answer. And this is the square root of this. When you take the square root, it will be cancelled. And when you take the square root, it will be equal to 4.3. So at this way, you will calculate. Okay, I have already shared the book of DeVore related to statistic, 8th edition. You have that. So please try to solve these examples 3.27, which are already solved, but for your understanding there are different tracks in these questions. You need to try to solve these 3.27, 3.28, 3.29 up to 3.33. And in the exercises there are also some questions, so please try those questions. I will conduct a quiz among those questions and examples. So thank you.